Hello everyone and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles Lung. With me as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, and gunner, Jacob Gloth. How are you doing today, Jacob?
You always say always when we start. He's always with us.
You
What
are.
happens when I die and you do this podcast alone? What will you say?
In remembrance. That's what I'll say. In remembrance of my editor, producer, co-pilot, and gunner, Jacob Gloth. I don't know how to end this. I don't know how to press stop. Jacob, help! And then I remember that you're dead, and then I just get sad, and then the entire podcast is just like...
If you want, you could put a microphone in my coffin, and I'll be there.
Yeah, we could listen to your dead body slowly,
decompose slowly.
Yeah.
You have to get a really good microphone if you want to hear that.
I think we could...
At least I assume that's not very loud. It could be loud.
It could be like a gunshot.
Mm-hmm. You don't know.
Bang, bang, bang. The hell?
You just go to a cemetery and there's just like gunshots going off.
Yeah,
because everyone's decomposing.
Yeah.
And that's what it sounds like.
That's just what it sounds like. Don't worry about
Everyone's trying to have like a peaceful funeral, and there's just like popping gunshots. No one can hear anything because people are decomposing.
Father O'Malley.
No one wants to live next to a cemetery, not because they're scared of ghosts, but because it's so loud all the time.
Yeah, those dead people just always making a fucking ruckus, man.
No.
Yeah, we could, but you know what? Here's what I want, all right? This is for posterity's sake. I would like, in both of our coffins, there to be a camera set up with a live feed that is streamed to twitch.tv at all times. The Very Reasonable Pilots podcast.
What if I get burned?
After dark. How are you gonna get burned? Are you like...
What do you mean? Like in an urn? All the ashes?
I thought you were like a witch. You were being burned at the stake like a witch.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I did some weird stuff and people thought I was a witch.
Fucked up shit, man. Yeah.
Or would I be... No, they would burn me as a witch, right? Do they burn dudes as witches? Or do they just burn them as wizards? Or warlocks? Or what's the mean word for guys?
I think...
As
witches.
people.
I mean, warlocks, I guess that's the one Harry Potter uses, but Harry Potter is bad. I'll say it.
All right, moving on swiftly.
No one ever throws a punch.
My pitch this week
is
called customer support.
How can I help
you?
So
as you know, Charlie.
Yes.
We pitch TV shows every week.
Wait, what?
Mine is kind of weird. I don't know. I originally was going with a completely different idea, but then I found this one aspect of my original idea to be funny or potentially funny.
Yeah.
So now it's all about now it's called customer support. It's all about a customer support agency called Helpo. It's a survival support third-party company that helps people stranded in dangerous situations. So let's say you crash on a planet. It's abandoned. This is in the future.
Yeah. No.
It's abandoned. You're like, I have no idea where I am. I don't know how to get off. Well, fortunately, your company or whatever you're working for, or maybe your ship was licensed with Helpo. Ooh. And so you have a Helpo customer support person to help you out.
Is it like... you get stranded on a desert island and, you're like, God, I wish I had some help. And then a Helpo plane, flies over you. And you're like, please help me, come down. No, and they fly back, or fly past you, but they drop a package. And you open the package and tear it open, and it's a phone, like a flip phone. And you, open it, put it to your ear, and they're like, hello, this is Helpo Human Services. How may we be of assistance today?
That actually might be great, because then later on I'm going to explain that there's a premium service where they'll actually help you.
Yeah. And
then there's the standard service where they'll just talk to you. Which everyone has. Very rarely does anyone have the premium service where they'll come and get you.
Yeah.
Most people just have the standard service, which is essentially somebody talking on the phone with you, trying to, help you through the situations.
Now you need to light a fire. How do I light a fire? Is there any wood around you? No.
All right, it's not like Dora the Explorer.
Do you have a lighter? No. Well then, I don't know what to tell you. You need to light a fire,
done.
though. None of the other steps work if you don't light that fire. So, sorry I can't help you anymore. Hang up. Call me
End
back.
of show.
Call me back when you've lit the fire.
Roll
Click.
credits.
Yeah.
Our protagonist, his name is Medge. M-E-D-G-E.
How
Medge.
many people have you named Midge?
I've never named anyone Medge.
Are you sure? Because I'm almost
Yes.
positive we've had at least one other Midge.
I've never had a Medge before. This was a weird name. I was trying to come up with a name, and I saw the word edge, and I was like, what if I added a letter in front of that? Medge. There we go.
What if you added a different letter? Like
No,
L?
if you want cliches from Jake, if there's a female character, her name's probably Valerie or Val.
Yeah.
That's just the way I do things, I guess. I think I did that 5 times before I realized I always do that.
Yeah, you know what? I've got plenty of cliches. I can't judge you.
All right. So Medge is a young, just out of school college student with a degree in history, but couldn't get a job in that field because there's no history factory to work in.
Yeah.
You know? Like where do you work in when you're a history?
You got a history degree, you can, I don't know. You're not even an archaeologist. You're not even cool like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do. I know plenty of history majors. Don't know any of them have a job in history, unless you got a master's school or get a doctorate or something.
I mean,
anyway,
does
so,
a tour guide count?
Tour guide.
You know.
At like a museum.
Yeah,
You need like a master's or a doctorate for that still.
Really?
Yeah, no, you got to be smart.
Okay, because the only history major I
might
know,
be spouting shit, but I'm pretty sure that's true.
the only history major I know who has a job at working with history is somebody who works at like Thomas Jefferson's house, and they do tours at Thomas Jefferson's house.
I was thinking like a museum. Never mind. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they have a master's, but they didn't seem that smart when I met them.
Okay.
Damn.
Well, Medge is naive, ambitious, and pretty calm and collected. Mm-hmm. So in the pilot, Medge starts working at Helpo, and this is like his first day. He's going through a cool futuristic city that we're really never going to see again.
Yeah.
Just like the one. It's going to be like way cooler than the actual show. You know, we're going to see all this shit flying around. There's going to be like space robberies and stuff, and then like people with lightsabers or something flying around. And then he goes into like this big tall building with the big Helpo logo at the top. Walks in, meets his manager, whose name is Manoger, which is going to be spelled on the name tag as manager, with like a little accent above the A. And he's like, "Oh, so you're the manager?" And she's gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm the manager. How'd you know that?" He's like, "Well, it's your name tag." He's like, "Oh no, that's my name. I'm Manoger." Like, "Oh, that's funny. Your name is your position." She's gonna be like, "No, my position's manager, and my name's Manoger. I don't understand what you're saying."
I was named after my grandmother.
Yeah.
She was
really offended by that, being like, "My grandmother died for this
company.
this company."
She was the first, Helpo agent to ever leave the building to help somebody who had fallen down in the street outside. She got hit by a bus.
She's a hero.
She's still working here, though, my grandmother. And you just cut to, like, this lady who's, like, half robot. You know, she's maybe lost the bottom half, but she's still making calls. And be like, sorry, you're gonna need to light a fire.
And her, like, robotic parts are, like, really buff. And she's like, and it goes back to Manoger, and she's like, she always wanted to be ripped, so, she picked those.
She got her wish.
Manoger's showing Medge around. It's like this crazy luxury Helpo apartment with like cool vehicles and like parachutes and people doing like cool training things.
Yeah.
And he's seeing all this, and he's like, Medge is like, "Wow, this is so cool. I can't believe I get to work here. When do I start off as a field operations person or this or that?" And Manoger just laughs and like pushes him into an elevator, and presses the bottom floor. And they go all the way down to like the negative 20th floor. Doors open to like a small office with a bunch of cubicles in the middle.
Yeah.
And she pushes him out and said, like, this is where you work. And then
she
the door.
rings the bell. There should be a bell next to the elevator. It's like, fresh meat, ring-a-ding-ding-ding-ding. And then she closes the door. And then, goes up. And everybody comes out to see him. And he's like, Midge is like scared. And he's like, yeah, we don't know why she rings that bell. Hi, welcome to the Human Resources Department. Nice to meet you. My name's...
Brian. We can go with Brian. He'll be the one introduced. Brian is the office slacker.
Oh.
Not in like a cool way, in like a really bad at his job, really lazy way. Mm-hmm. But he's sort of like comedic
gold.
What's the word when someone's comedic? I can't think of it.
Oh my god. Now I've lost it too. You're like a sidekick. Comic relief.
Comic relief, that's what it is. It's not comedic, it's comic relief. There we go.
Also, I drew the Helpo logo. The Helpo.
He's kind of weird, a little creepy. You drew the Helpo logo.
Yeah. It's help, and then the O is a smiley face.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Wow, are you like a 3-year-old?
Yeah. I did it.
I feel like if this show became famous and we were at a booth somewhere, some 1-year-old would probably come up with a better logo than that.
I'm sure that they could try.
Yeah.
And then I'd
so Brian,
steal the
slacker, just like a really weird guy. Mm-hmm. We'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah.
And then we have Florence, who is sort of the expert of the office. She can solve every issue in like seconds, but she's very stuck up about it and has a bit of a god complex going around. Thinks she's like the savior of this crappy office.
Yeah.
And there's some other characters, but we'll get there once I explain more.
Maybe all of the problems she fixes are like very insignificant, but everyone else is either too incompetent or too lazy to do it. So it's like, I am your savior. I conquered the accursed paper jam.
Yeah. She's like the only person with average intelligence amongst people that are idiots, you know? Mm-hmm. She's like the person that was, maybe above average in her high school. Yeah. Went to college and she was an idiot compared to everyone else. And then she goes to work and realizes that, in the place she works, everyone else is an idiot. So she feels special. Yeah. And she likes this special feeling. She
couldn't hack it in higher education. So she went to the lowliest job that would hire her.
And but she is smart. Yeah. But she's, she's not very nice about it. All right, so the first day, Medj is disappointed, but, he goes to his cubicle and he starts work because he needs the money. And takes his first call. So as soon as he puts on the little headset with the microphone. We switch to the view of the passenger. That's what makes this show cool, is that we have this sort of office environment, but, when we're actually in it, we're showing the cool bit, which is the people surviving on the planet. Yeah. We switched to the view of an angry passenger that was on a cruise spaceship. I imagine they'll have those, Yeah. Sort of like the one from WALL-E, probably.
They kind of have them now.
Cruise spaceship?
Yeah.
Like rich people going to space?
Yeah, that's a thing.
But this is like luxury, This is massive. It's like the size of a cruise ship. And they got everything you could want to do on it.
They got pools. They got shrimp. They got a seafood bar.
They got shrimp.
No one knows where they get the shrimp from.
Yeah, space shrimp. They don't tell you about it, but they're shrimp and space people.
Yeah, and it's delicious.
So, dude's stranded on a toxic cave planet, and the first episode's all about Medj guiding him to seek shelter underground. To which the office is astounded because they're like, "Holy shit, he didn't die like immediately."
Yeah.
Because somebody's gonna come up to Medj like in the middle of this. We stay on the view of the guy in the cave, Mm-hmm. But you're gonna hear the office conversation, and like maybe Brian will come up to him and be like, "Hey, Medj, do you want to go out for some tacos? There's a taco truck outside."
Yeah.
Medj is like, tacos. "Hey, I'm trying to help this guy," and he's like, "Wait, are you still on that call?" And he's like, yeah. He's like, he's not dead yet? No, he's not dead. I'm helping him. He's like, oh shit, I thought he'd be dead by now. Me and Billy Bob, we had a bet that he'd be dead in the first 10 seconds. And we're just listening to this while clearly the angry passenger could hear all of it. And it's like just shivering in a cave as like toxic rain pounds outside.
They've just
to these people betting on him dying.
They've just stepped in a puddle and like taken their foot out, and their foot's just all skeleton. It's all bones now. And you just overhear like, oh, you guys want to go out for a drink? I'm done. You know, today's been kind of a wash. Like, Brian, it's 2 in the day. We have so many more hours of work.
He's like, I'm tired. It's like, "Don't you gotta work? What are you doing? This is your job." I'm like, I think I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in the supply closet
for me,
Yeah. If anyone asks, I'm in the what's it called? I'm in the bathroom. He just goes and falls asleep. Couldn't remember bathroom.
So Reggie's gonna, keep helping him through. He's gonna, they find shelter, and then he's gonna work his way across the planet to an old trading outpost that's destroyed. So going through this, he's gonna explain to him how to defeat monsters as they go.
Yeah.
They sort of bond as they do. And eventually they're gonna reach the abandoned outpost on their side. He's gonna explain to him how to repair the ship. And this dude's like, I don't know how to fly a ship. And he's like, you just repair this as I tell you. And then, this is the future. They got autopilot. Just press this button. Yeah. He's like, they have autopilot? He's like, yeah. It's like, oh my God, I wish I knew that when our ship was crashing. I would have pressed this rather than trying to fly it myself. He's like, oh.
Well, yeah, that's... Yeah. Are you stupid?
He's like, dude, this is the future.
Yeah, they
didn't invent autopilot.
They've got robots to do everything for us. Okay, do me a favor, please. Don't fly this ship. It's really, really bad idea.
Maybe in a future episode we can come back to this guy. He crashed another planet because he crashed this ship.
Or maybe, I just have an ending in mind for the story, but I don't want to ruin your flow.
You can go.
He gets the ship, hits the things, gets all of it ready, and hits the autopilot button. It blasts off and goes. But Midge gave him the wrong coordinates. He missed 1 decimal point, so he accidentally set him off into the furthest corner of the galaxy. So we could come back two seasons later, and this guy's just turned into a caveman hermit, just living on the spaceship with 1 leg, because his other one fell off because of the acid. He's been eating space rats or whatever, and he finally gets home, and there's just a fist fight in the middle of the office. There's a scuffle.
Yeah, so she shows up at the bottom floor, and he's like, Madge! And he tackles over his desk trying to, strangle him.
Yeah. And, as soon as the guy jumps at him, should Brian do something? I think it'd be funny if Brian just walked into him by accident, and he fell over and snapped his neck and died.
Maybe Brian's sleeping on the floor and the dude trips over him and snaps his neck. Janitor walks in and he's like, I'm not cleaning this shit up.
And then Midge is and then somebody's like, who the hell is that guy? And Midge is like, I have no idea. Well, back to work. Back to the old grindstone.
Some of the other episode ideas I had were, saving a infected woman on a quarantine planet. She crashed on a planet that was quarantined. Now she's infected, and
she's got the virus.
He helps her get the cure and get off the planet.
Yeah.
But maybe getting off the planet in the last shot, we can see that there's another infected person in the back or something. So. Him doing that really fucked things up.
Yeah, I think it would be funny if each episode ended with Midge just destroying lives and ruining people and planets.
I want him to kind of be good at his job. I mean, not every episode. We can have a few where it's sort of hinted.
Yeah. maybe there could be an episode where like somebody lands, or he gets a phone call and it's like, this number is not recognized, and it's from this like planet that hasn't developed technology past like the middle ages or the dark ages or whatever, and somebody's got like a wooden steampunk phone, and they're like, or like an old-timey crank phone, and he's like, hello, I was told to call this number if I need any help, there's vampires running around. And it's like, what? And we just do a fun campy vampire episode.
That'd be funny. And maybe this civilization has no idea how to handle vampires.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, do you have any wood? He's like, yeah, what, how does that help? That doesn't help me. He's like, you just sharpen it and stab one. He's like, how does that make any sense? He's like, to be honest, I don't know. I don't really get it. Nobody really explained it to me, but I just know that's how you kill vampires.
You guys never seen Interview with a Vampire? Tom Cruise is great in it.
And they're like, do you have any garlic? And he's like, yeah, we're garlic farmers. I'm like, oh.
Well, that's
probably why
easy.
You're not dead yet, if I had to guess.
Yeah, you guys got to read more books. We
like books? We don't have books. What's a book?
What's a book? I've never heard of a book before.
This backwards planet doesn't have books yet.
We only have hollow cubes. You know how they
hollow cubes? Holy shit, that's way more advanced than books. How'd you get that?
Yeah. Oh, it's,
Well, our species really doesn't like to read. So we tried to come up with something that didn't involve reading, but told stories.
Yeah. And we came up with hollow cubes. And you show it, it's like a steam-powered hologram. It's like, well, that doesn't seem like it should work.
It like makes a fire, and then it has like the shadows of the hologram,
Yeah. I always love it in sci-fi TV shows and movies. So it's like, oh, I'm watching the hollow cube, or it's like a holodeck game or whatever. I always think it's so dumb. But I also love it.
Because it would definitely be like commoditized, the holodeck. It'd be like the Xbox 12 or something like that. That's what it'd be called.
The holodeck, and you have to pay extra to get certain things. You gotta pay $20 extra if you wanna, I don't know, what's something you can do in a holodeck.
Get the NFT figures.
If you want to meet the lazy lions. Yeah, NFTs are the future.
For future-proofing this show.
Listen to Gary V. Isn't that guy, that
internet
entrepreneur? There's an internet entrepreneur.
Anyway, the next one, we got siblings stranded on a moon. I think that'd be fun, moon, because they are worried about oxygen and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I imagine there'll be a situation where, one of them suits gets broken and they lose a lot of oxygen, and they gotta tape a little tube between them. And that's Medge's idea. So they got a little umbilical cord thing tying them together. Mm-hmm. And he makes some jokes about them being Siamese twins now.
Yeah, and then
they don't like the jokes because they're about to die, obviously.
Maybe they were Siamese twins, but they were only connected by their pinky. I think that was the only thing that connected them when they came out of the womb, so it was really easy to disconnect them.
Sort of snap that off, yeah.
Just maybe it would be funny if throughout the episode they get angry, the twins or whatever get angry at each other, and then one of them is like, fine, I'm done working with you and Midge, fuck you guys, and then he goes off to the other side of the moon, gets his own phone out and calls Helpo, and he puts it to his ear, and it's Brian, and Brian's like, you know what, man, I got a wicked headache, I'm just gonna send you over to my colleague. And he sends him over, and it's Midge again. Yeah. So he's just got them both on phones. It's like, yes.
He just picks up the phone. Maybe he has a desk right next to Midge, and he goes up to Midge. He's like, "Hey, can you take my job too?" And Midge is like, "No, I'm busy right now." And he just shoves the phone up to his ear and walks away.
It's really easy. Come on, just here. Thank you. I'll see you later, bud.
I'll see you at lunch.
You want anything? I'm going to
getting a pizza pie.
Getting a pizza pie. You want a slice? And then later he comes back.
Midge, this is the third time you've had lunch today.
And then Brian comes back, and he's got a box of pizza. And Midge is like, "Did you get me any?" And Midge just and Brian's like, "What?" and then he walks away eating the pizza. And it's just like, oh, this fucking...
His name's Medj, by the way, not Midge.
Oh, sorry. Medj. Not Midge. Medj. I think you've had a Midge.
Never had a Midge before.
I'm almost
You probably
positive.
named a character Midge, and you're projecting it upon me.
I've never named a character anything besides cool names. Think of a character's cool name. It was me.
Jimmy King.
Jimmy King. That's a cool name.
Next, we've got a janitor on a destroyed ship in space. And then a surfer on a snow planet. I think that would be funny because you have some dude with a surfer accent who's like, nah, these waves are gnarly, brah. And he's like, this is snow. He's like, nah, but like the tide, man.
Bro.
The tide. And he's like, what are you saying? The tide. He's like, what? I don't understand.
I don't get. There's no tide. That's wind.
It's
you
snow.
not heard of wind before? No, bro. It's like I'm totally feeling these vibes, bro. And he's being like not on by like a wolf.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, bro. Maybe
I'm
we
one
could.
with the nature, man.
Maybe the surfer could be like a vegan, vegetarian, kind of like hippie, dippy doo-dah kind of guy. And then throughout the episode, he's got to like do more and more, like kill more animals to survive. He's got to like cut open a polar bear and sleep inside of it.
Oh, God.
Like fucking Star Wars. And he's like, oh, bro, this is not chill, dude. I feel real bad. These vibes are not cool, bro. These vibes are not cool. And he's saying that as he's cuddling up inside of a polar bear. And he's like, yeah.
Maybe he's got some weird slang, like, because he's a surfer, he could be like, when he says like, wow, this is wet, bro, that means it's cool. So wet means cool to him. He's like, this is totally not wet, bro. And he's like, well, I mean, there's blood in there, so I guess it's wet. Like, nah, man, this is not wet, bro. Something stupid like that. Probably not wet, but like, something.
Nah, I like wet.
Some weird.
We can go back to like 60s, like 50s and 60s surfers. We can go back and get their slang because I bet it's real stupid. Because slang back in the 60s was stupid already, and surfers aren't known for being the smartest people in the world. No offense to the surfers out there, but you keep swimming with sharks. I'm not gonna think you're the smartest guy in the world.
If you swim, you're swimming with sharks because it's the ocean, right?
You never heard of a pool, bro?
Okay, Charlie knows swims in pools with his shirt on.
I only swim with my shirt on, and I have to have my swimmy shoes. Yeah, my swimmies on my. I am one of those kids who wears the flippers into the local pool. You know that? There was always that kid who wore the flippers into the pool during the summer.
Was it you?
Were like, no. Maybe.
Anyway, one of the reoccurring jokes / characters throughout the show is that the phone lines from Helpo to like, space or whatever, they get tangled up with this building next door, which is like a phone sex company. And this guy that works there, his name's Nate. Nate's a phone sex worker. And his lines keep getting tangled up with Medj's. And so occasionally Medj will get a phone sex call. Yeah. And he'll be confused and be like, so what do you need help with? And he's like, what I need help with, that sort of thing. Yeah. And then it takes a long time for Medj to realize that something's off here. Meanwhile, Nate just sort of goes with it immediately. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'll help you out. Yeah, I got this. And it's like, this is kind of fun. He's like he's like really chill about it. And he's just helping somebody survive. And he does this like several times throughout the show where like Nate, the phone sex worker, just helps people survive because he's like really smart, but he just likes working at the phone sex place.
He's a fan of phone sex. What's wrong with it, man?
He's got a really nice voice. We just need someone with a good voice for this character.
Maybe he's got like a thing where he can switch his voice. Because I think it'd be funny if we had Nate as this huge burly dude, and then he presses a little switch on his neck, and then he sounds exactly like Angelina Jolie or like Scarlett Johansson or something.
I was thinking of being just more genuine. Like maybe he could do voices. Like he can do like a nice, deep, like sexy voice, and then he's got like his normal voice, which is just casual.
We should hire a famous voice actor, like I don't know, somebody who works on The Simpsons or SpongeBob.
Kevin Conroy.
Hire what's SpongeBob's name? Tom Kenny? Something like that. Hire Tom Kenny to be Nate. And I'm assuming that this is in live action.
I don't know. It'd probably be animated, but
Yeah.
I was at least thinking the. I guess it could be live action. I don't really care. Anyway, so Nate is going to start off with like originally just sort of getting these calls, but eventually it's going to be like merged with him and Medj for a few calls, like helping out a person, and it's going to get hired by Helpo. That's sort of like the end of this arc. He's going to get hired by Helpo, and he's going to start working there.
Maybe he gets the credit for Nate's big save, or
I don't see them as like competing. It's just like he's just some random guy that sort of ended up getting these calls, and he's just as good as the people that have like manuals and things to actually help them.
Yeah,
and he gives sort of like unorthodox advice. Like he's not going by the book. He's like
he's given phone sex.
He's got some
advice.
street smarts. Like, you know, they'll crash on a planet, and he's the first person that's like, well, does the ship still work? And he's like, well, we just crashed. He's like, yeah, but like you can crash and the ship still works. He's like, huh, I never thought about that. And then they just get back into the ship and fly off.
and maybe they leave one person, and that one person is talking to Midge and Midge is Medj following Medj's advice exactly, and they're like turning into this wild man cave person. It's like living off the land, like skinning deers and, you know, eating raw meat.
Yeah, and he gets away like, you know, years later.
Yeah.
Gets back to Earth and is like, how come you didn't let me escape with the others? The other Helpo person, like, knew what he was doing. He's like, other Helpo person? What are you talking about? It's weird.
It would be funny if people just keep showing up at Helpo and being like, you guys fucking ruined my life. Like, my family's dead because of you. What the fuck? And they're like, no, you signed a waiver.
The waiver, yeah.
We're not legally liable for anything that Helpo can say or do. You signed a waiver, signed away your rights. It's okay. You know, you're allowed to. Well, here's a gift bag. This is the gift bag that we give to all previously unhappy customers. And it's just like you open it up and there's like a bag of like baby peanut M&Ms and like a new Helpo phone that can only call Helpo lines.
A little card that says like leave a review. They go on the website and you can only leave 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
And if you write a review that has any negative words in it, it gets banned.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's the show.
I like it. I'm assuming the name would be Helpo.
I told you when we started the name's customer support.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It could be Helpo too. That is good. What do you like, Helpo or customer support?
I think customer support works, but I'm imagining you're going on the TV, you're scrolling through the channels, and then you see one channel that the only thing that they have on it is customer support. Yeah. And you'd be like, that's not a TV show, that's a customer support thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. But we can go with Helpo.
Yeah. But I think it'd be cool. We start the first episode. We start the episode out like the intro to each episode is like a Helpo commercial. Yeah. And we could do like a new one for each season.
That'd be fun.
Or if we
could do a new one for each episode if we were rich.
If we were rich and creative enough, you know. But we have Helpo. Each episode or each season, you have like a guy stranded on a desert island or something. He's looking up. And he's like, what am I gonna do? It's like one of those old timey. Then
that's where we have the little plane fly over and drop the phone. And in the commercial, he's like, hell yeah, I got the phone. And
then he makes the call, and then you hear like a beautiful voice.
Like, this is Helpo. How can we help you? Ho
ho. And then we cut. The commercial ends. And
I gotta go back for a second. This is Helpo. How can we helpo you? Ho ho.
Ho ho. Helpo you, baby. How can we do it? Please tell us how to help. We don't know. We need your help to help. and we cut back to after the commercial ended, and the guy's just a skeleton on the beach holding the phone. They're like, yep. Thanks for choosing Helpo.
And then you could hear, like, very lowly, like, very slowly, like, oh, if you enjoyed your service, press 1.
If your service is helpful, press 1. If your service is unhelpful, press 10.
Press the hang up button.
Yeah. Press a button. Any button. Doesn't matter. Click.
Also, it's like, oh, yeah, you could also just say press 1 as well.
Yeah.
So it's implied that they can only get 5-star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think this would be a good show. I'd watch Helpo. I'd watch Medj as he makes it, climbs the corporate ladder. Yeah, he climbs the corporate ladder over the first few seasons. By the end of the second season, he's at the top. Third season starts, he's been fired from the top. He's right back at the bottom where he started.
I only imagined it up to like him becoming manager of the little office.
Yeah, and then, but I feel like he would grow to hate everyone that was around him because he'd be like, Brian is useless. What was the lady's name? Again? Florence is an asshole, you know? I don't like her. Mm-hmm. I don't like anyone here. I'm gonna go work on level 2. He works on level 2 and he finds out it's just the same thing.
Yeah.
They just have it's like one of those offices that's like, we're a fun office. It's fun here. And they, have like exercise balls and Nerf guns and like swords or whatever. Foam
he does
swords.
That for 10 minutes and then goes back down. He's like, I can't. I'll just stay here.
That was the worst. It was the worst thing ever. Oh my god. I hated every second of that. Someone shot my computer with a Nerf gun and exploded, fell on the ground, caught on fire. Everyone started doing tequila shots. It's like 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's not cool. All right. Welcome back to work. Yeah. And then Medj is just happy to be sitting next to Brian.
His bestest friend.
His bestest and only friend. Mm-hmm. Well, that has been this episode of the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I've been your host, Charles Long. With me has always been my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, and gunner, Jacob Gloth. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, please give us a like, follow, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your dog, tell everyone. Shout it from the rooftops. Shout Very Reasonable at some pilots. Yeah. And they'll know what you're talking about.
Probably.
Goodbye, stay safe, and big kisses.